scumbag aunt ripped off my grandma for years. I put my nose in her business and had the IRS financially ruin her. This happened about 5 years ago. My grandma was getting old, late 80s, barely 90s. She had one wish: to not die in a senior home. Easily done, as my Jesus sold some assets way back when, then invested the money and let it ride for 30 plus years. He never touched it and collected a pension way back when my Jesus died about 10 years before this. My grandma appointed my dad, this acid aunt, and my uncle as the droops of the trust, including the trusted advisors for her and her care for the foreseeable future. All was well in the beginning. Then my dad, Willie, moved further away and couldn't take care of the day-to-day upkeep as the call and to see that my grandma was okay. My aunt, Rebecca, told her that she and my uncle, Fred, who lived in Arizona, could take over and all would be fine. It was fine for a while. A few times my dad went back to visit and noticed my grandma didn't always have overnight care, or that her mail wasn't picked up and the driveway wasn't plowed. She also lost her cable dong and newspaper subscription. My dad figured it just lapsed, so he had the services put back on. My dad also noticed my grandma was eating moldy food at times because her truck was sold and she had no transportation. She drove up to 90 years old. She basically just chilled at the house alone and did crossword puzzles. The craziest part of this is that my aunt only lived 2 miles from my drama, but my drama told my dad she saw Aunt Rebecca once a week on Saturday for about 1 hour. As with the elderly in age, my grandma passed away. She did get her wish and was able to die in her own home. Upon her death, things started to get real interesting. Once the probate lawyer got her children, my dad, aunt, uncle, and another estranged aunt, Becky, and around the table some shady business started to come out. My aunt Rebecca asked that everyone just forgo any audit or paperwork and they just sell the house for around $400K and divide up the remaining bank account balance of roughly $400K. So just signing on the line, each sibling was to get a check for $200K. Not too bad of an inheritance. My dad thought that was somewhat a little rushed. He said at the time that he wanted to wait because my grandma's house was easily in the $600K range based on size and location. My aunt exploded in his face, cursing at him and calling him all kinds of names because he was unwilling to sign the assets then and there. She basically wanted a quick close while everyone looked the other way. My dad ended up leaving the room after the screaming and the deal wasn't signed that day. It took nearly 6 months before another appointment and they were all back at the table. The thing is though, when you are a trustee and the person dies, the funds and access to financial accounts are all under heavy scrutiny until all beneficiaries are made aware and sign the final papers. At the next meeting, my dad went in there with no intention to sign the deal. He got his brother, my uncle Fred, to agree that they audit the entire accounts going back 5 years. When they demanded this again at the meeting with the lawyer, my aunt ended up arguing that a forensic audit would cost $5K and it's a waste. Like, what difference does it make?